I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. Such a pleasure to speak to you. Maybe just give us a brief introduction to this amazing film, The Great Escaper. What can people expect when they watch it?
They can expect a cracking love story and a love story that's got some undertow of kind of quite big issues.
How did you first discover Bernard Jordan's story? Why did you think it was going to work so well on the big screen?
I think that, somebody just got in touch with me and said, have you ever heard of this guy? And, would you be interested in writing about him? And as soon as I read the story, I just was intrigued. And then the more I dug into his history and his relationship with Rini, the more I just thought, I've got to do this. But the interesting thing is that I think that, as a cinema experience, I think post-COVID particularly, I think what the cinema can offer that we all want is this kind of communal experience, either of spectacle and big emotion. That being in a room with lots of other people, feeling deep emotion when we've spent all these last 2.5 years, whatever, just sort of isolated. I think it's so welcome, and I think this film, personally, I think it does a wonderful job of it's quite spectacular to look at. Oz done a great job, but I think where it really delivers is on just the emotion, just bags and bags of emotion, and lots of people who've seen it up to now, we've not a dry eye in the house, which is great.
And what a phenomenal cast you've put together, not least Michael Caine right at the centre of it. Sir Michael Caine, I should say. What was it like having him in your cast? And then, of course, knowing retrospectively this being Glenda Jackson's final role.
That was incredible. I didn't know that Michael would be involved to start with, and then when he was, it was one of those really weird times where I just thought it couldn't have been anybody else. It felt like there couldn't be any other actor to have played that role. We went to have supper with him on the Fulham Road because he lives down there, in a nice area of London, and it was just so exciting. And I'm not normally starstruck. But I kind of was with him, but he's so modest and so lovely, but also so brilliant, because this isn't a film. He's a man of 90. He could just do a little pop up, a scene here, a scene there. He carries the film. He is the film with Glenda, and similarly with Glenda, had supper with her just a few weeks before she passed away, and she's such a force of nature, and she remained that throughout the film. And I just think, I'm so happy that I got a chance to work with her. But also, I love the film. I'm very proud of it. But also partly because I think it actually is a wonderful last film for her, and I feel very happy that some of the work I've been involved with, is part of her. I think her body of work, which is really phenomenal.
And what do you hope people will take away from watching it? It's like you say, having that communal experience in a cinema, and perhaps reflecting a bit on the experience of people who've been in the military, whether that was in the past, whether that is current, but also how we look after our elderly, which I think can be an issue in this country particularly.
Absolutely, yeah, no, I think you're right, and I think particularly the thing about the elderly, services, I'm very interested in. I'm quite, to try and be active in Help for Heroes and things like that, but I think that the sort of the scars that some, not all soldiers, they're not obvious. Of course, they're not with PTSD, but I think what's interesting is loneliness is, for instance, for an old person, is a terrible battle to fight, and people my mother died when my dad was, my dad couldn't boil an egg, he was of that generation, and my mum passed away, and then my dad had 20 years, on his own, and that was, I thought to myself, he fought a war and now he's fighting another war. So I think that I'd like people to kind of just think about that as they go forward, and to think about how much they can do for the older generation, really, because we're all going there.
Thank you so much. That was really moving. Nice to chat to you. Thank you for your time.